We were always on the fence, not pulling the trigger. And I was scared. And at that point, I knew that I needed a system, processes, a mentor to go to. And I stumbled upon Palak's 5-day pop-up challenge. I took the challenge and eventually we made a decision. Okay, you know what? It's about time. We just got to move in. Jump in. We have the whole community. We have our guru to support each other. And yeah, here we are. We currently have 3 properties under our belt.
Hey, this is Neeti, and what you're about to hear today is a very special episode with one of the members from our portfolio program.
We call these Sensei Sessions. These interviews are designed to give you perspective about what you can achieve with the right strategies and execution.
I hope you enjoy this episode, and for free resources, check out our show notes section to see how you can build and scale your portfolio.
Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. Great to be here. Thanks, Palak, for the opportunity. So my husband Zinesh, he's not currently here. He had to go to the W2. But him and I are
W2, yeah.
right. So him and I are currently actively investing into real estate. We're based out of Frederick, Maryland, and we're investing right in our backyard, Baltimore, Maryland. So by profession, I work for the Department of Defense, providing government consulting service to on the era of artificial intelligence and quantum computing. But by passion, I'm a responsible real estate junkie. I just had to say this. So my husband and I, we had were always in analysis and paralysis. So by trade, I mean, if you look at it, the Patels owns the motels and hotels, and my family does that too. Like my entire aunts and uncles and everybody does it. And I just didn't want to go into that brick and mortar kind of businesses because I thought there was a sweat equity, honestly. And as what DT has mentioned one time, I have seen everybody work like so hard to multiply their money. And I knew that that wasn't for us. We started looking at lots of houses, but we just didn't know how to do it, right? So we were always on the fence, not pulling the trigger. And I remember last year, we looked at the triplex. It was right like 10 minutes away from our house, 750K, Maryland being its own price tag. And I was scared. I didn't know like whether I wanted to really buy it. I just didn't know anything. And at that point, I knew that I needed a system, processes, a mentor to go to. So my husband was like, let's find someone. And I stumbled upon Palak's 5-day pop-up challenge. And I was like, oh, this sounds promising. Let me just give it a try. And I took the challenge, still didn't pull the trigger, was still in scarcity mindset. I'm going to say that. And then at some point, I don't remember who reached out, but I was on the open space, still going like ins and outs of this entire open space website, like trying to figure things out. And eventually we made a decision April of last year. Okay, you know what? It's about time. We just got to move in, jump in, and just keep doing it. Like at least we got to try it once because nobody in our family knows about it. But at the end of the day, we have the whole community. We have our mentor, our guru to support each other and to back us up. And yeah, here we are. We currently have 3 properties under our belt. We are just over right around 800. We're at 795K into our ARV with the equity of 175K. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And I'm assuming you and Dhruva, you and Arena are both gonna be crossing 1 million. It has to be this year,
That's the goal.
right? Yeah.
So
Love
as
it.
Palak, you have said, right, promise, you have actually challenged us the next time when you come to work on, you got to be under 1 million. And I told this to my husband, like promise made, our debt unpaid. We better do it.
Oh, I love that. Yes, that is awesome. I would love to know, how do you find your very first deal?
So initially, I hired 2 of the real estate agents for the first property to acquire. My residential real estate agent, I had made a list of like 10 properties, and she was phenomenal, by the way, like securing the show times between like half an hour to each. And we were able to get through all 10 properties within 2.5 hours. And then I think we were going to put an offer on 4 of them. Out of the 4, the first 2 offer got accepted. But the first offer that got accepted, I mean, we were going to close within a month. Everything was going smoothly. And just before the day of closing, we had to back out of the deal. So the way how the Baltimore properties are is you don't own a land. You do own the structure that you build on top of it. And the ground rent leaseholders are somebody other than the property owners. So you do have to pay, the title company escrows that when you close it, and every year you have to pay that annual ground rent to the leaseholder. But we just couldn't track down who the leaseholder was. So we had to back out of the deal. It was an eye-opening for me.
What has been the most helpful as you have gone through the program?
Yeah. So I think trust the process. We're in it to win it together. We have everything. Just keep your blinders on and keep going. I had to pull out my very first deal. Of course, it was hurtful because I was a little bit emotional, but I knew that I needed to keep going. So keep going. Just put your blinders on. And I must say, come to these calls. It just keeps you in that momentum that you need to keep going. And
Yes.
I must say, I have watched all of these Sensei sessions, all of these, like there were 82. I think I forgot the count of it. But
You're gonna
they
go down in
were-
the Hall of Fame of a Sensei Session watcher.
That's
She
a lot of
watched
video.
all of them. She watched
They
all of them.
were amazing. You pick out like a chunk of nuggets, like that is a gold piece of advice from everywhere. And I have not missed a Sunday's calls either. So come to these calls. You're going to solidify what the bird principle is, what the process is, and just keep going. Like, I think that's my biggest advice, I would say.
Thank you so much for your time.
When you're ready to get serious, you can join us at theinvestoraccelerator.com.
It's like getting 1,000 episodes worth of information in 5 days, and it's everything you need to build your actionable plan to financial freedom and making work optional.